going to talk to you about the two problems of quitting. If you remember from the last video, we talked about physical and mental cravings being the problems that stop you from actually quitting when you're in the quitting phase. So let's have a look at that in more detail. But before I do that, I'd just like to look at habit and addiction. These, when I ask somebody what they think makes them smoke or why they can't quit, they'll inevitably say habit. Almost the first answer that they'll say. Now, what do we mean by habit? Well, the definition of a habit is a regular behaviour that's out of control. So if we said that habit causes me to smoke, that's not really explaining anything, is it? Other than it's a regular behaviour that's out of control. But we want to understand, why is it out of control? So habit doesn't help us understand that. Might be true, but it doesn't help us. So what about addiction? Well, with addiction, how do I know that I'm addicted? Well, because we can't stop, because it's out of control. But what is the out of control part? See, this still doesn't help us understand how to stop smoking. And what about enjoyment? People say I smoke because I enjoy it. Well, that may be true, but if enjoyment actually had the power to take away the control, take away your choice, so that you had to smoke, well, that means everything you enjoyed would be out of control. And that's certainly not true. So enjoyment doesn't have the power to take away the control. It's got to be something else that makes you smoke. We'll have a look at these in a moment. But let's look at mental cravings and physical cravings, and just to be sure, to make sure that they are really the things that stop you from quitting. Just imagine if you got a craving and you could just make it go away. Let's say you had a magic button that you could press and it made the physical and mental craving go away each and every time. If you had such a device, you wouldn't smoke, would you? Because you could press the button quicker than you could take a cigarette out of a packet. And it wouldn't take any willpower to press the button, so there'd be no need to smoke. So really it is the physical and mental cravings that are the problem. So let's have a look at those in more detail. With the mental cravings, there's actually 4 stages that you go through when you generate a mental craving. The first stage is where there's regular events in your day, such as stress or boredom or waking up in the morning or having a cup of coffee or having a drink, or perhaps if you need to relax. So these events occur, and then sometime after, quite quickly, the thought of smoking comes into your mind. And very soon after that, 2 other stages occur, like a chain reaction, and you get the feeling in the head, the mental urge. And at that point, you've only got 2 choices. You either resist it with willpower or you satisfy it. Okay, and satisfying means smoking. So this is how the mental cravings work. We'll actually explain what these 2 stages are and how to solve that problem. That's part of the program. So now let's have a look at physical cravings. Physical cravings are to do with the nicotine. Now, let's say this is days along here, and this is the percentage of nicotine in the body. Let's pretend that whatever level of nicotine in your body right now is 100%. So if you didn't have any nicotine for the next 14 days, after 3 days, 80% of the nicotine would be flushed out of your body. That's the vast majority. So 80% of the nicotine would be flushed out after 3 days. Now, whenever the nicotine level gets down around this point, you'll start to go through a readjustment process. That readjustment doesn't happen immediately. Your body needs time to readjust, and this is where you get the physical cravings. So these are real feelings in the body, in the mouth, the throat, the chest, the belly, and it's the body's response to readjusting. Now that readjustment process doesn't take that long. It's almost, very much over in the first week. There'd be very little physical cravings in the second week. So once you get past this point here, then there'd be very little physical cravings, and certainly by day 10 there's no, by day 14 even, 10 to 14 days there's no physical cravings if you allow the body to flush out the nicotine. So basically the physical cravings, which is what this red circle here is, arise because the body has to readjust when you flush out the nicotine when you try to quit smoking. So that's what physical and mental cravings are. That's how they arise. And in the next video, we'll actually talk about the True Quit method for reducing the physical cravings so that you can quit smoking without willpower, and how you can eliminate the mental cravings. So that's coming up in the next video. See you then.